अरे ना बनाओ तो किधर मुझे बताओ तो सही यार कोई ब्रेड बस या मोबाइल बस और हर सामान का
कह रहा एडमिट बताना है हाँ
Yes, yes.
I think YouTube is now on.
Huh.
on okay
And I am starting the recording also.
Yeah.
can we start sir
Yes, Virish bhai.
Yeah, I'm ready.
ready no sir okay जीतू भाई जीतू भूलिया
He's joining again.
again is joining so let's
Yes.
wait for 1 second or okay
Yes,
इसमें
he's there.
रीनो
He's there
भाई
ना?
ये मेरे को जो सी वेटिंग रूम दिख रहा है वो हट सकता है क्या? नहीं
हट सकते हैं
आप फुल स्क्रीन एक बार ऊपर से कर दो तो फिर आपको आपका स्लाइड ही दिखेगा.
व्यू ऑप्शन में
कैसा करने का?
व्यू ऑप्शन में सर
ऊपर राइट हैंड साइड कॉर्नर में
व्यू ऑप्शन है
हेलो रीनो भाई.
हाँ
रीनो भाई
हाँ समझाइए
ये दिख नहीं रहा है मेरे को. ये मोर में आएगा क्या? मोर में किधर है?
मोर में नहीं, ऊपर राइट हैंड साइड कॉर्नर में जहाँ पार्टिसिपेंट्स लिखा है ना उसके लेफ्ट में थोड़ा एक स्क्वायर करके ऑप्शन होगा, एंटर फुल स्क्रीन.
सो ग्रिड वीडियो ऐसा है उसमें छोटा कर देना पड़ेगा स्पीकर यूज आएगा ना
वो क्रॉस किया. अरे फिर भी आ रहा है वेटिंग रूम.
Did you enter that full screen option?
ये एकड़े के प्रॉब्लम अच्छा है तो सेटिंग करनी है.
ओके एक्चुअली એમને વોટ્સ મોબાઈલ થી બતાડને ને તો મોબાઈલ માં ફોટો પાડીને એમને WhatsApp કરને કરું હા તું કે છે રાઈટ માં જે રીનો ચાર ફોટો આપણે બતાડે છે એમાં જે ચાર છે વન સ્મોલ લાઈન છે
पुलिस ज्वाइन कर सकते हैं.
हुआ मनीष भाई?
मनीष भाई
समझा नहीं.
वो राइट में जो आता है ना एकदम एक्सट्रीम राइट साइड और स्मॉल डॉट है 9 डॉट्स है उसमें भी हो सकता उसमें ये છે ને રીનો
नहीं
हाँ એમાં भी થઈ જાય એ नहीं થઈ જાય એક્ઝિટ ફૂલ સ્ક્રીન કરી શકે છે
एक सेकंड.
चलो ठीक है ना, चालू करेंगे.
अभी बराबर है अभी आपको पूरा आप ही दिखते हैं अभी बराबर है हमको तो
अभी मैं दिख रहा हूँ, स्क्रीन नहीं दिख रहा है.
आपने स्क्रीन शेयरिंग स्टॉप कर दिया शायद, दैट इज व्हाई. हाँ, स्क्रीन शेयरिंग इज ओके. अभी जहाँ ऊपर आपको तीन चार लोगों के वीडियो दिख रहे हैं.
हाँ 4 वीडियो दिख रहे हैं मेरे.
हाँ, उसके वही उतने ही लाइन में ऊपर एक 4 कॉर्नर्स 4 एजेस करके एक है, एंटर फुल स्क्रीन, या ऑल्ट F प्रेस कीजिए, ऑल्ट F.
क्या ऊपर
ऑल्ट F फॉर फ्रांस.
कुछ आ नहीं रहा है.
नहीं हुआ फुल स्क्रीन.
ठीक है चलो देखेंगे.
ओके,
वो तो अभी थोड़ा टाइम में होगा वो निकल जाएगा वेटिंग रूम वाला तो है ना
ठीक है वेटिंग रूम वाला तो निकल गया है
है ना निकल गया ना बस ओके we start the session. Good evening welcome to the 12th study circle meeting of Malad Chamber of Tax Consultant on GSTR 9. Today's speaker Mr. Manish Gadia is a Western India Regional Council member. He is the master of the subject and before session I would like to inform you that Malad Chamber of Tax Consultant Association is a association of more than 1,200 members, and our life membership is only rupees 2,500. Those who are non-members can become the member. Now coming to the seminar study circle. Sorry, coming to the study circle members, thank you for overwhelming response. And those participants who had queries can write down in the chat box. We'll take the query after the session. Now I request our committee member, Mr. Jitendra Fulia, to formally introduce Manish Bhai Gadia. Sir.
Thank you, President, for giving me an opportunity to introduction of a stalwart and respected Sri Manish Gadia ji. Sri Manish Gadia is a chartered accountant practiced since 1997. He is the partner is GMJ and Company Chartered Accountants. He practiced in the field of GST. He has co-authored book Statutory Obligation of Cooperative Housing Society published by WIRC of ICI and Handbook Valuation and EPC Contract published by CTC. He was a regular contributor of WIRC Reference. He is a regular contributor to GST Reference published by GSTP AM. He has contributed articles on service tax as well as GST in the Chamber of Monthly Journal published by CTC. He has compiled the budget booklets published by JB Nagar CP Study Cycle WIRC for the years 2005 to 2019. He has delivered more than 500 lectures, out of which 250 lectures on service tax and 250 lectures on GST at ICAI, Regional Council of ICAI, branches of ICAI, study circles, Chamber of Tax Consultants, AIFTP, BCAS, the STP Association of Maharashtra, Management Institute, the Institute of Company Secretary of India, Indian Navy, Trade Associations, and corporates. He has also addressed professionals via teleconference and webinars. His views on GST is regularly telecast on national TV as well as printed in newspapers. He was regularly answering the query on the GST readers on Navbharat Times newspaper till May 2019. Yes. He is represented before Commissioner of State of Maharashtra, Finance Minister of Maharashtra, and Union Finance Minister in the state in respect of GST. He is currently member of Western India Regional Council and chairman of Career Counseling Committee. He was chairman of Indirect Tax Committee of WIRC of ICI for the year 2016-17. He was chairman of Career Counseling Committee of WIRC of ICI for the year 2019-20. He was cooperative member of Banking, Insurance and Pension Committee of ICI for the year 2015-16. He was also cooperative member of Indirect Tax Committee of WIRC of ICI for the year 2014-15 and 15-16. He was also group leader of Indirect Tax Study Group of WIRC of ICI for the year 2015-16. He was the chairman of Student Committee of the Chamber of Tax Consultants for the year 2014-15. He was also the chairman of Indirect Tax Committee of the Chamber of Tax Consultants for the year 2010-11 and 11-12. He was a co-opted member of Committee for Capacity Building of CA firms and Small and Medium Practitioners of ICI for the year 2010-11. He was a member of Study Group GST formed by ICI for the year 2009-10. He was co-opted member of Infrastructure Committee of WIRC for the year 2004-5. He is also founder, convener, and core group member of JB Nagar CP Study Circle of WIRC. With this brief introduction, now I request, now I hand it over to our President. Hello. Hello. Hello.
एक मिनट सर.
Yeah.
Then bhai, you are mute. You have to unmute yourself.
Yes, Viresh bhai.
Yeah, Viresh.
Hello.
Continue.
Sir. Thank you very much for accepting our invitation, Manish bhai. Now I request you to take up the session. Hello.
Thank you, Viresh bhai, for inviting me to share my thought. And I also thank Malad Chamber of Tax Consultant for giving me this opportunity. I thank Jitendra bhai for your kind words, and good evening to all of you. Before start of my session, I request everyone to stay home, stay safe, and fight COVID in a good way. So now we will go to the session. Today I am going to discuss Form GSTR 9 for the financial year 2018-19. So all of us has already filed Form GSTR 9 for the year 17-18. Now we are into the 18-19. So we all know that who are required to file annual return. It is required to be a regular registered person in GSTR 9, composition taxable person in GSTR 9A, and e-commerce operator in GSTR 9B. And who are not liable to file is casual taxable person, non-resident taxable person, person required to deduct TDS, TCS, or department of central government, state government, local authorities whose books of account are subject to audit by CAG or an auditor appointed for auditing the accounts of local authority. And the person who is supplying OIDR services from outside India to India. So all these are not required to go for annual return, not required to file annual return. Then late fees is there. If you are not filing the return, it is 100 rupees per day and maximum 0.25% of turnover in the state. So each in CGST and SGST, so effectively it is 200 rupees per day and 0.5% of turnover. Whenever I am mentioning turnover, it means it is a aggregate turnover. And if you have any of the SSC has not filed GSTR 1 or 3B up to March 19, then he will not be allowed to file his annual return. So it is mandatory that entire GSTR 1 and 3B of March 19 has to be filed before going for GSTR 9. All these are basic things. And we have experienced also that due date of annual return, which has been extended in the past. So if you see in the 17-18, it was extended so many times. And now the same case is with the financial year 18-19 also. The original due date was 31st December 2019. Now it is extended to, it was extended to 31st March, then further extended to 30th June. And now the new date is 30th September 2020. Due to COVID, it has been further extended. And I hope that this will not be further extended and we will be able to file this by September 2020. So GST annual return and the reconciliation statement with that is GSTR 9C. That statement for the financial year 2018-19. So what is important is that if your aggregate turnover. So here the question is what is aggregate turnover? So we will discuss that. Again, aggregate turnover has been defined under the CGST Act under section 2 subsection 6, which says that means the aggregate value of all taxable supplies excluding the value of inward supplies on which the tax is payable by the person on reverse charge. So it means that all the taxable supplies excluding the value of inward supplies on which the tax is payable under reverse charge basis. So suppose that GTA is there and that GTA on which the recipient is liable to pay the GST. So for recipient, that GST even he is paying on GTA service should not be included in the turnover. And it also include exempt supplies, export of goods or services or both, and interstate supply by person having the same permanent account number to be computed on all India basis, but exclude GST. So basically, if you have a turnover, suppose in Maharashtra 1.5 crore, Gujarat 1.5 crore, so your total turnover is 3 crore. Even though if you are less than 2 crore, then also you are required to file your GSTR 9. So that what we have to understand. And when we are saying aggregate turnover, again how to calculate the same. So we have to take the value as per GST law. So generally GST law says that it has to be a transaction value. But take an example of dealer of second-hand car or goods. So in that case, if you are not taking any ITC on purchases, So it has given option that you can pay the GST on the differential. So what it means is, suppose I am buying a car at 10 crore and selling the same car at 13 crore. So my aggregate turnover in this case is 3 crore only, because I'm paying the tax on only 3 crore rupees, not on 13 crore. And that balance 10 crore is not my exempt supply also. So in this scenario, maybe my books of accounts are required to be audited. As per my books of account, my turnover may be 13 crore. But as far as GST is concerned, your turnover is 3 crore. And accordingly, you have to see whether you are liable to file your annual return or not. Likewise, air travel agent, forex dealer, life insurance, pure agent reimbursement, sale of capital goods. So even if sale of capital goods also, if you see that will not be included in your turnover in the P&L. In your P&L, what will come is the difference between your sale price and your written down value, or maybe the depreciated value as per your books of account. That will only come in your P&L. But as far as sale of capital goods are concerned, you have to take the gross value for calculating your turnover of 2 crore. So it may be possible that you must have sold the capital goods worth rupees 50 lakhs, and profit and loss account you may be showing only 2 lakh rupees, and your other than this your turnover may be 1 crore 90 lakh. Then also you are required to be file your GSTR 9, because your turnover now, aggregate turnover, is increasing to 2 crore rupees. So all this need to be checked. So the PNL is not the only sole consideration, sole thing what you have to see for calculating your aggregate turnover. Why aggregate turnover is important is because now for the year 2018-19, it says that if your turnover is up to rupees 2 crore, then GSTR 9 is optional, and GSTR 9C is not applicable at all. What is optional, that also we will see little bit later. Then if your turnover is between 2 crore to 5 crore, that then GSTR 9 is mandatory, but GSTR 9C is not applicable for the SSCs whose aggregate turnover is between 2 crore to 5 crore. I am getting daily 1 or 2 queries whether my turnover is about 2 crore, whether I am required to get my accounts audited, और मेरे को GSTR 9 का भी exemption है ना sir, because 5 crore तक नहीं है, because previously up to 2 crore you was not required to file GSTR 9 as well as 9C. The limit of 9C and GSTR in the previous year, financial year, that is 17-18, was same. But this is not the case in 2018-19. If your turnover is 2 crore to 5 crore, GSTR 9 is mandatory, 9C is not applicable. But if your turnover is more than 5 crore, then GSTR 9 as well as 9C, both are mandatory for the SSC. So now, up to 2 crore, it says that it is optional. So that what we will see, that has option to file GSTR 9 L1 return for the financial year 17-18. If the said option is exercised, it will be deemed that the annual return is filed before the due date. So suppose for the financial year 2018-19, your due date is what? 30th June 2020. So if you are not filing your GSTR 9, your annual return, up to 30th June 2020, then system will automatically, whatever data is available with the system, maybe whatever GSTR 3B you have filed, it will consolidate that and it will automatically be get filed. So you will not get any chance to rectify the same. When we are filing GSTR 9, we are doing a reconciliation of books of account along with your GSTR 3B, GSTR 1, 2A, etc., etc. And if any mistake is there, if any short payment of liability is there, you can make the payment along with the interest. And then if you are doing so, then penalty can be waived off. So you will save the penalty front as well as interest is also restricted since you have made the payment of the tax. But if you are not doing so, then your interest and penalty will continue. And you all know that how we have filed our return in 2018-19 GSTR 3B, GSTR 1. So many mistake has been done, and even though the system was not working properly, so there may be some mistake has happened due to the system also. And in between the year practically हम reconciliation करते ही नहीं है book से और 3B से. And even if you do the reconciliation between GSTR 1 and 3B of particular month, you will find that there may be some difference also. Client 1 के टाइम का डेटा मुझे 11 तारीख को देता है और 3B का डेटा मुझे 20 तारीख को देता है. 9 दिन में भी many times we have seen that there is a difference between the data what have been provided. So whether we have rectified the same, the answer is no. So this is an opportunity that you can do the reconciliation and rectify the same. So even though I suggest that up to 2 crore rupees, it is optional, you should treat this as mandatory and file the same to save the interest penalty, etc. So this already I have covered. Now the next question is, while filing my GSTR 9, which will be my primary data? Which data I should take? The reason is that I have a data in GSTR 1, I have another data in GSTR 3B, and I have another data in my books of account. और ये तीनों के तीनों डेटा जो मेरे हैं ये कभी मैच ही नहीं होते हैं. There is always there has to be some difference in all these three data in each month. May not be every month, but at least in 1 or 2 or 3 months some data difference is there. So which data I should take first? Which is my primary data? So now, according to me, what is your actual sales or what is your actual sales is there as far as your books of account are concerned? Since it has been audited, what we are discussing is financial year 2018-19, your books of account has been audited. It means whatever data is there in your books of account is the correct data. So that should be used as your primary data, and accordingly you should file your GSTR 9. So if any short payment is there in your GSTR 3B, you can now make the payment and file your GSTR 1. GSTR 9. So this way you can do. So this we will discuss when I will come to table 4, 5, etc. So currently system auto-populates the data based on GSTR 9, GSTR 1 and 3B to the extent possible with the SSE. These are some primary discussion. You can change any field, but if there is a difference between your 3B and what data you are filing, if it is more than or less than 20%, then it will be highlighted in red color. This is only for reference. This is not the showstopper. The system also auto-populates ITC based on your GSTR 2A as generated by system. In case of any additional liability, the taxpayer can pay the same through GSTR 3B, GST DRC 03. The system will give link to navigate to the form, and after filing 9, the system will allow the taxpayer of filing the 9 even without payment of additional liability. So like your GSTR 3B, if any liability is there, outstanding liability is there, it is not allowing you to file your GSTR 3B. But this is not the case with your GSTR 9. You already experienced the same, that even the payable annual return can also be filed. Now the next question is if any additional liability is there. So can I pay that additional liability through my ITC? So if I go to the act as well as I go to the rules, so I have not found out any restriction which saying that you can't make the payment if that ITC is available in your books of account while making any liability which is arising when you are filing your GSTR 9. But if you go to DRC 03, so there the option is there and you have to select the annual return. So there is a voluntary payment, annual return, etc., etc. Various options are coming. But once you choose annual return, that it is not allowing you to make the payment through ITC. So that is the restriction what the system is putting, but there is no such restriction as far as the act or as far as the rules are concerned. So in my view, if you want to utilize your ITC payment, then you should not go for payment under GSTR 9. You should select the voluntary payment, make the payment, offset the liability, and proceed.
Sorry, Manish bhai. Hello.
Yeah, Viresh bhai.
There are certain issues with the voice. You know, कुछ थोड़ा थोड़ा वॉइस में डिस्टर्बेंस आ रहा है.
अभी आ रहा है सर बराबर?
That
Sir, I think you are keeping the mic very close to your mouth. हाँ.
सर अभी
इसलिए
बराबर
थोड़ा-
है?
हाँ अभी
Yes.
बराबर है. Yes, yes.
ओके, तो ऐसे ही बात करते हैं.
हाँ, because
Correct.
someone has pointed out that because of you are using mic to the mouth, no, that's why. No
ओके
problem,
ओके
sir. Now
This
it's
is
comfortable.
much clear, sir. अभी.
Much clear. Yeah.
ओके ओके सर. ओके.
Thank you, sir. Sorry for that.
No, 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 no. Sir, you should always point out if anything is there.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
Now, as we discussed, what should be the primary data that I discussed, GSTR 1, 3B, and then books of account. Now, books of account, when I'm talking, so you go to any act, is also define what is books of account and how to be maintained and where to be maintained. So I just given a comparison of books of account provisions, what has been given under the GST law, as well as what has been given under the companies law. So section 35(1) of the CGST Act 2017 says that every registered person shall keep and maintain at his principal place of business as mentioned in the certificate of registration are true and correct accounts. So this we will see little bit later. But if you compare the same with one section 128 of the Companies Act 2013, it says that every company to prepare and keep the books of account and other relevant books and papers and financial statement at its registered office and may be, the word is may be true and fair. So you understood what is the difference between these two? So GST law says that if you are registered in 10 different states, so each state wise, whatever principal place of business you have defined, you have to maintain books of account at that place. तो suppose आपने बॉम्बे दिखाया है तो बॉम्बे में अलग बुक्स होगा उस स्टेट से रिलेवेंट. If you are registered in Gujarat and your principal place is in Ahmedabad, so different books of account should be there as far as the Gujarat state is concerned and has to be kept at Gujarat at Ahmedabad. But in Companies Act, it has to be maintained centrally at the registered office. If registered office is suppose in Delhi, you have to maintain only and only at Delhi. It is not required to maintain at different places. That is the one thing what we have to keep in mind. And second is, it is mandatory that your books of accounts has to be true and correct. As far as Companies Act is concerned, it says it may be true and fair. So most of you are a chartered accountant, so you know what is the difference between true and correct and true and fair. So before taking data from books of account, you should ensure that if it is books of accounts, it's true and fair, it will not be accepted by the department and it has to be true and correct. So what are the list of documents required to be maintained? That is the next question what comes to our mind is. So GST law, I'm not going to the law and I'm not using the word by word verbatim. Broadly, it says that inward and outward supply of goods or services that you have to maintain. Stock of goods required to be maintained. So what is expected here is that your books of account stock record has to be true and correct, not true and fair. That's what we need to guide to the client, that as far as GST law, it is also covered stock record and it says all the records should be true and correct. You should maintain record of input tax credit availed, output tax payable and paid, goods and service imported and exported, supplies attracting payment of tax on reverse charge mechanism, along with the relevant documents such as invoice, credit note, debit note, refund voucher, bill of supply, etc. So once you are doing any GST annual return or maybe audit, or whenever you are taking any assignment of your client, so kindly ensure that many places what I have seen that client are not issuing a self invoicing in case of reverse charge mechanism, which is again mandatory as per law. And if you are not maintaining that, you are not maintaining true and correct record. So all these issues will be there. And again, you have to maintain a record of advances received, paid, and adjusted thereof. So all these things need to be taken care. These are some of the prerequisites for filing GSTR 9. So if you have this 6 item along handy with you, so it is always better, and you can file GSTR 9 in a better way. That is, first you have to understand is that understanding of accounting. So in case of builder, they may be maintaining percentage completion method or any other method, that you should know the accounting. Understanding of GST law is also equally important. Then what is the IT infrastructure that SSC is maintaining is also very important. So which software he is using, any flaws are there in the software or not, can be any data which is entered can be changed, not changed, that all should be taken care. Then applicability of various notification, circular, clarification, that also you should keep in mind, because what I have seen in GST law, it is tougher than history. School में जब मैं पढ़ता था, तो history was otherwise good subject. Only issue with me was to remember the dates. इतने सारे डेट थे हिस्ट्री में, याद नहीं रहते थे. But now I am coming to GST. Every day they are making so many changes, and some changes they make effective from so and so date. Some changes they make effective from the date of notification. So all these have to keep in record. Some changes may not be, some provision for 2017-18 is different. 18-19 provisions are different. So all that you have to compile what are the provision, and now your client, your team may be filing return of which year? Financial year 2021, and we are doing audit of 18-19. So provision which are applicable in 2021, our team may be aware, but 18-19 के provision पता है कि नहीं पता है? I don't know. अगर CA का ऑफिस है, कोई आर्टिकल 6 महीने पहले आया है, साल भर पहले उसने ज्वाइन किया, तो उसको 18-19 के प्रोविजन पता ही नहीं होंगे. So all these provisions which were applicable in 18-19, not applicable in 17-18, not applicable in 19-20, 20-21, you should compile that list and keep it handy so that there should not be any mistake. Then classification and nature of supply, then manner of availment of credit, वो भी सरकार बीच बीच में change करती रहती है, manner of availment of credit, that also you should keep in mind. So manner of availment of credit, notification they have issued somewhere in March 19, but made applicable in June 19. So 18-19 में वो applicable नहीं है. So manner of availment of ITC was different in 18-19 and which is different now. So all this should be handy. These are some of the documents required to start your GST audit or maybe filing of your GSTR 9. Which are that? That is GSTR 1, GSTR 3B, 2A, Tran 1, Tran 2. Then also you require statutory audit report, income tax audit report, cost audit report, branch auditor report, etc. It is always, I suggest that you should always take a signed copy of financial statement, because sometime what I have observed is tally का data आपने ले लिया, but जब आप books final करने जा रहे हैं या audit के पहले, some entries you may have made or may not have made, but changes has been made in your financial statement, which you may not have incorporated. So once you start filing your GSTR 9 based on tally, then again you will have some challenge. So that's why it is always better to take signed copy of financial statement And you also compare this with a state-wise your trial balance. Take consolidated and GST and wise trial balance, then reconciliation of figure pre and post GST and wise अगर 17-18 से related कुछ है तो and GST and password to this you at least require. You need to do a following reconciliations also once you are going for GSTR 9. That is the invoices versus books of account. So there may be a possibility that books of account में आपके नहीं आया होगा, but आपने वो invoice issue किया होगा. How it's possible? There may be some transfer of goods from or services from one state to another state. So which is a supply as far as GST is concerned, need to issue invoice. But that entry will not come in your books of account. So that record should be there. Then your books of account and your 3B. There also may be some difference as far as your ITC is concerned or any other entry, which may be in your books of account, but 3B may you may not have taken credit. So that reconciliation is also required. Next is your books of account versus your GSTR 1. Sometime I have seen that client is sending one data for one, another data for 3B. So that reconciliation is also required. Then payment voucher versus invoice of unregistered, then purchase register versus 2A, 2A versus 3B, and turnover in GSTR return versus books of account. So all these details, all this reconciliation, if it will be handy before starting GSTR 9, it will be great help. And these are just the different 6 parts. It has been divided. So I'm not going into detail. You have already filed your GSTR 9 for 17-18. So you are aware about this. So directly, and this is the point 1, basic detail. Once you will file your GSTN number, automatically it will come. So nothing to explain in that. The next is, it is start with your actually table 4. Table 4 is asking for the details of outward and inward supplies made during the financial year. Then you have to give nature of supply, taxable value, CGST, SGST, IGST, and sales separately. So what is important here is table 4 is saying that details of advances, inward and outward supplies made during the financial year on which tax is payable. Here the word used is tax is payable and not the word tax paid. So there is a difference between what is tax payable and tax paid. So that's what we have to keep in mind. And any of your exempt supply will not come in this table because supply on which tax is payable will only come here. So that's why I said that your primary data source should be books of account as far as your table 4 is concerned. Because it's not saying tax is paid, tax is payable. So if anything on which you have not paid the tax, you have to disclose the same here. So liability neither shown in your 3B for 17-18 or 18-19 will be disclosed in 18-19 or 19-20 will be shown in this table. So any liability which has been escaped will come here. Any liability which you have disclosed pertaining to 18-19 in the return of 19-20 till September 19, then it will go to another table. Table 4A says that supplies made to unregistered person, that is B2C supply. You have to give the consolidated figures, net of credit note or debit note. That is important. But if you go to B2B supplies, that is table 4B, it says that it will include your deemed supply also. Deemed supply is what? Related to distinct person, related person, whatever supplies you are making, that is also covered even if you are not charging any you are not charging any amount for that, then also GST is leviable on the same. So you have to disclose everything in this B2B supplies. Then zero rated supply export on payment of tax except SEZ. So you have two options as far as zero rated supplies are concerned, that export with payment of GST, export without payment of GST. So export without payment of GST will go to table 5, but export with payment of GST will come here in table 4C. And you have to disclose the figure of zero rated supply export and zero rated supply to SEZ on payment of tax in two different tables. Table 4E says that deemed export. So whether supplies made to merchant exporter and on which your client may be charging 0.1% as a tax, because if you are making any supplies to merchant exporter who will in turn export the same goods as it is, so you can supply the same at 0.1% to him. So now here question is whether this will be treated as deemed export. The answer is no, this is not deemed export. This will not come in 4E, this will come in your 4B. That what you have to keep in mind. Deemed export is that 100% export oriented unit and all that what has been defined will come only in 4E. Then advances on which tax has been deemed to be paid but invoices have not been raised. So advances in respect of goods, if you are receiving anything on that you are not liable to pay any tax, so then it will not come here. But any advances you have received for services to be supplied, advances received for services to be supplied and for which the invoice has not been raised till March 19 will come in your table 4F. Then your inward supplies on which tax is to be paid on reverse charge basis, so under section 9.3 or maybe under section 9.4. So 9.4 was not applicable during the year 2018-19, but it is applicable on 9.3. So primarily in this table, whatever inward supplies you have paid, so like you are taking a services of GTA, so you are liable to pay GST under the reverse charge basis. So that will come here in this table. Then again, if you see table 4B to 4G, what you have to give is your figure gross, not net of debit note, credit note. In case of B2C supply, you have to give net of debit note, credit note. So any credit note, debit note, supplies on tax declared through amendment or tax reduced through amendment will come in this table I to L. But now by way of notification, government has given an option that table 4B to 4E, that what we have seen that B2B supplies, export, SEZ, team export, all these supplies, they have given option that you can show net of credit note and debit note. But if you see the wording, it says that in case there is any difficulty in reporting such details separately, then you can show net of figure. So what difficulty you will be there is very difficult for me to understand. So what I have taken a stand in my office is that I will give gross figure in all this table and will not give a net of figure, because it is not blanket saying that it is not required to be given. It says that if difficulty is there, then only you can go for net figure. Now we will go to table 5. Table 5, you have to give details of outward supplies during the financial year on which tax is not payable at all. So it's not saying that it is exempt supply. It says any supplies on which tax is not payable. Maybe taxable supply, maybe exempt supply will come in your table 5. So zero rated supply without payment of tax. So under LUT, supply to SEZ without payment of tax, again LUT will come in 5B. Then 5C says that supply on which tax is to be paid by the recipient on reverse charge basis. So for example, your client is a GTA. So on GTA, recipient is liable to pay the tax. So, and GTA is another taxable supply also, maybe warehousing services, which will go in your table 4. But on GTA supplies, which he is supplying, which is also a taxable supply, but on which tax is paid by somebody else, will come in your 5C. Then they have given exempted supply, nil rated supply, non-GST supply, includes no supply also. So everything they have given here. And now they have said that 5D to F, that is exempt supply, nil rated supply, and non-GST supply, including no supply, everything. You can give the consolidated figure in 5D, that is exempted supply also only. So here they have not given any rider. So I should say that you should use this and disclose a consolidated figure only. And what is your non-GST supply is like your alcohol and alcohol for human consumption and petroleum product. What is no supply is schedule 3. But whether security will come in no supply, in my view, answer is no, security will not come in no supply. Security is exempt supply as far as your calculation of reversal of ITC is concerned under section 17(2). But for the purpose of aggregate turnover or for any other purpose, if you see the definition of goods or services, goods says that anything which is movable other than security and money, and services also says the same, security and money. So in my view, security will not come anywhere in neither in table 4 nor in table 5. And again, you have to disclose the credit note, debit note, that what we have discussed in table 4, same. And here also they have said that in case of any difficulties, then reporting the same, you can give the net of figure in your table 5B or etc. So I will say that you should actually give the gross figure. That is what my view is. Now we will move to table 6. What is table 6? Is details of ITC availed during the financial year has to be disclosed here. So table 6A is will auto populated and you can't make any amendment. So no amendment are allowed in this. 6B is inward supplies other than import, and inward supplies liable to reverse charge but include supply received from SEZ. So that will come here, and original forms, if you see, it asks you to the separate detail of input, capital goods and input services. But now they have given option that you can give the consolidated figure of this 3 input, capital goods and input service in the row of input. So that is a good relief, because while filing your GSTR 3B, these separate details are not asked. So again, it is very difficult for any client to provide this data. So this is a good relief they have given, and this is a good option, and I should recommend that you should use this option and give the consolidated figure only. So here your all in 6B, all your inward supplies will come other than your import, and inward supplies are liable for RCM. तो ये दो छोड़ के आपका एंड SEZ से भी अगर आप कुछ खरीद रहे हैं तो वो छोड़ के सब कुछ इधर आ जाएगा. Then if you go to table 6C, again it is very confusion that inward supply is received from unregistered person liable to reverse charge other than B above on which tax is paid and ITC is availed. And if you compare this with your table 6D, it says inward supply is received from registered person liable to reverse charge other than B above. So for reverse charge credit, they have given two separate tables, 6D and 6C. But now, good thing what they have done is, they have said that you can see a show a consolidated figure in 6D only. So it is a good relief and you should use, because it is very difficult to find out inward supplies from registered person, unregistered person, wo kab registered tha, kam unregistered tha, is very difficult. Then import of goods will come in your 6E. What you have availed in your GSTR 3B. Then import of services, because bill of entry से नहीं आता है तो वो separately आपको लेना है F में. Then input tax credit received from ISD will come in 6G, and amount of ITC reclaim other than B under the provision of the Act. So there are various provisions, like if you go to rule, there is a provision under section under the proviso of section 16(2), which says if you are not making payment to the vendor within 180 days, so whatever credit you have availed, you have to reverse that credit along with the interest. And once you make the payment to the vendor, then you can reclaim that credit once you make the payment to the vendor. So that reclaimed credit, whatever is there, you can claim in H. And again, if you go to rule 42, rule 43, which says that if you have short claim due to the formula, and once you are recalculating after September, up to September, then you can reclaim the same. So all reclaim amount under various provision of the law will come in 6H. And then transitional credit, etc. will come here. So we are not going on that. Then any other ITC availed but not specified above. So what will come is in this is that you may have availed the ITC on merger or demerger. That separate provision is there. For that you are required to file ITC 01, ITC 02, etc. These forms are there. So you can take the credit of the same here. And now table 7 is that details of ITC reversed and ineligible ITC for the financial year. Then again different rules they have given, that rule 37 में जो reversal है, 39 का reversal है, 42, 43, 17.5 if any reversal is there. So 17.5 का reversal when it will come is that when you have claimed that in your GSTR 3B and then you have separately reversed that credit in your 3B. Then that figure will come here. Many of the client, or what we are doing is we are not availing the credit and we are not reversing that credit of 17.5 in 3B. So then this figure will not come here. That's what you have to keep in mind. That Tran 1, Tran 2 credit will come and other reversal, if any is there, will come here. Now what they have clarified is that instead of giving this 7A to 7H separately, E separately, have option to disclose consolidated amount in 7H. So that you can disclose consolidated figure also. But I suggest that if you have this figure separately, because once you have filed your 3B or once you have a data, so this figure are separately available. So instead of using consolidated figure in 7H, I will recommend that you should put it in a separate row. But if you are putting consolidated figure, no issue at all. Then next is table 8. So I will finish this form first and then I will take up some issues also. So table 8, if you see the heading, it says that ITC related information. So it is only and only for the information, what I understood from the heading. So it may not have impact on your liability or etc. But it will have impact on your, this is only for information. So ITC as per GSTR 2A, so it will auto populate. And I have seen that this GSTR 2A they are taking up to certain date. उसके बाद में अगर किसी ने आपके सप्लायर ने GSTR 1 किया है तो हो सकता है now if you are downloading your GSTR 2A you may get a different figure than what is there. So first of all you can't change the figure of 8A, so anything can't be done. Then ITC as per sum total of your 6B and 6H will automatically come in your B. So again you can't change that. Then 8C is ITC on inward supplies other than import and inward supplies liable to reverse charge, but include services received from SEZ during the but availed up April 18 to March 19 will come here. So other than import, so ITC availed during April to September 19 to be disclosed here. Then difference will come here, but the difference negative figure bhi hai, so it will accept your return and no harm at all. So you can go ahead. Again, you have to give the bifurcation ITC available but not available, ITC available but ineligible. All that data need to be given. Further, it says that in case of table 8, if you want to keep it blank in your GSTR 9, you can do that. And you have an option that you can attach a PDF format in this detail along with your GSTR 9C. So 9 में नहीं देके detail तो आपको देना ही है आगे पीछे. Then IGST paid on import of goods including supplies from SEZ will disclose here. Then IGST credit availed on import of goods as per table 6E. So ITC on bill of entry, while importing the goods, you have to file a bill of entry. That what you have to take here. And it will be taken from 6E. And whatever difference will come in I. So I'm not going into table 8. Now table 9 is your details of tax paid, declared in your return and during the financial year. So all these calculations will come here. But here they are picking up data only and only when you have disclosed this tax payment in your GSTR 3B. But if you have made any payment through your DRC 03, so you came to know that मेरा कुछ short payment हो गया है, now you want to make the payment. So suppose 20th is the last date. 22 तारीख को आपको समझ में आया कि कुछ short payment हो गया है. So one option is you make the payment to DRC 03 and pay the interest of only 2 days. Another is you wait for the next month and pay on 20th and pay the interest of 30 days. So if but somebody chose to pay interest of only 2 days and offset that liability through GSTR through DRC 03, then that figure will not come in this table and it will show as payable amount. So that is the difficulty with the table 9. And whatever liability you are disclosing in your table 4, suppose मेरा liability अगर actual books में account में मेरा liability लाख रुपए का था, but 3B में I have paid only 98,000. In table 4 you will disclose that turnover, that liability of 1 lakh rupees, and that balance 2,000 will come as tax payable in this column. You can see the column, but payment तो आपने 98 पे किया तो 98 का ही आएगा. So that difference will come here in your table 9. Then if tax is paid in GSTR 3B of 1920 will be disclosed here. So what it says that particular of the transaction of the previous financial year means 18-19 का कोई transaction what you have disclosed in April to September of 2019, then this will come in your table 10, 11, 12, 13. Table 10 says that supplies or tax declared through amendment or net of debit note. So अगर आपका कोई invoice छूट गया है March फाइनेंशियल ईयर 18-19 का which you have entered in your suppose June month 3B, June 19 3B, that figure will come here. If you added any debit note, that will also come here. So that you have extra tax paid will come here. Any sales has been made by you in the financial year 18-19 and relevant to that sales, any credit note has been issued in the financial year 19-20 up to September 19, that figure will come in your table 11. Then reversal of ITC availed during the financial year. So suppose 18-19 में आपने कोई ITC ले लिया, then you realize that वो ITC I have taken wrongly. So then you can reverse that ITC in table 12. But now they are saying it is, you have option not to file anything in this. But I will recommend that you should not use that option and you should file this. Any reversal you have done in April to September, you should give that data. And any fresh ITC you have availed during the financial year. So 18-19 से related कोई भी ITC आपका छूट गया है, which you have claimed between April to September 19, that you have to disclose in table 13. But again, they have given option not to file this detail. But again, I recommend that you should give that detail. Now, differential tax paid on account of declaration in 10 and 11 will come here. But it is not considering whatever you have disclosed. Any liabilities coming because of the table 12, where you have reversed the credit or you have availed the fresh credit. वो सब detail इधर छूट जा रहा है in table 14. Table 15, again it is optional. So I am not going into detailing of the same, and I say that I recommend that you should not file because it is only for the information purpose. So I am not going into detail. Again, table 16, it says that information of supplies received from composition dealer deemed supply under section 143 that is related to job work and goods sent on approval. Again, it is only and only for the purpose of information, and now it has been made optional. So according to me, what I am doing in my office is I am using this option and not filing this data. So I am not going into detail of the same. Again, it is asking HSNY summary of outward supply as well as HSNY summary of inward supply. So again, option has been given not to file this detail for the financial year 18-19. You should opt this option and not to file this data, because it is again very cumbersome, and again whether you are giving right data, wrong data, you are not sure. So instead of giving any wrong data, or if you are not sure, better not to give any data. And if you have paid any late fees or any late fees is payable, then you should disclose in table 19. So this is as far as the form is concerned. Then any additional information is required. If you go to your GSTR 3B, whatever information you are given, that handily available. But GSTR 9 is asking some more detail which are not there in your GSTR 9. Then it is difficult. It says bifurcation of zero rated supply between actual export and SEZ supplies. That what you additional information you have to get from the client before filing GSTR 9. Then it says ITC need to be bifurcated into input service and capital goods. Now this has been made optional. So whatever now has been made optional, you may opt not to get that additional detail, and accordingly you can file your GSTR 9. But whatever is in black color, still you have to get that detail and file. Then bifurcation of ITC on inward supply liable to RCM received from registered unregistered supplier. Now you can give consolidated detail. Then you have to bifurcate that ITC reconciliation with your GSTR 2, including ITC available but not available, ITC available but ineligible. So again, it is very cumbersome, very difficult, but that data is required. It is not made optional. Then particular of transactions of previous financial year declared in the return of April to March, April to September, amendment, reversal, etc. that need to be taken, because 3B में आपने तो ले लिया है, लेकिन 3B apparently you will not get that detail. So you have to go through the working and again confirm with the client and get that data. HSNY summary, now it is made optional. Job work, etc. made optional. Refund claim, etc. made optional. So not required to be given now. So these are, I just made a comparison. Now, I get a lot of query as far as GSTR 9 is concerned. So मैंने कुछ डेटा 17-18 का जो था अप्रैल टू मार्च 18-19 में लायबिलिटी का पेमेंट कर दिया. So that I have disclosed in my GSTR 9 of 17-18 in my table 10 and table 11. अब वो डेटा मैं क्या करूं, कैसे करूं, how to reconcile the same, how to put this in your GSTR 9, because there is no separate column, no separate table for putting this data. So I've just taken some hypothetical situation and tried to analyze and explain to you how you should do in this situation. So as per your GSTR 3B of financial year 18-19, पूरे financial year में suppose आपने liability 1,01,000 लिया है, what you have disclosed. I'm just taking hypothetical situation. You will say कि 2 करोड़ के नीचे जरूरत नहीं है तो 1,01,000 क्यों है? So we are not going into that situation. Just for understanding, I have taken this hypothetical question. ये 3B में मैंने 18-19 में 1,01,000 रुपए का टैक्स का लायबिलिटी दिखाया है, and I have paid also. But out of this 1,01,000, I have reported 3,000 tax liability in my 17-18 GSTR 9 in my table 10. And some credit note may be issued relating to financial year 17-18 of उसका liability 2,000 रुपए का जो मैंने टेबल 11 में 11 में दिखाया है for the financial year 17-18. So actually 1,01,000 minus 3,000 plus 2,000 if you will do, then what you have reported in respect of financial year 18-19 is 1 lakh rupees. This is what your liability related to financial year 18-19 you have disclosed in the year 18-19. Actually you may have disclosed 1,01,000, but actually 18-19 से relevant 1 lakh रुपया ही आपने liability tax liability pay किया है और disclose किया है in your 3B of entire 18-19. I am just giving a hypothetical example. Now what I have did here is I have taken 5 different situations here. So 3B में 18-19 से related 3B में आपने what you have done is you have taken 1 lakh of 18-19 and you have paid the liability of 18-19. So there may be possibility that your actual outward liability of 18-19 1 लाख रुपया ही है मेरा. So अगर 1 लाख ही है और 18-19 से रिलेटेड अगर 1 लाख ही मैंने पेमेंट किया है तो there is no difference. ये इधर applicable नहीं है. Then what you should disclose in your table 4 of 18-19 is 1 lakh rupees only. Table 10-11 में you are not reporting anything. Now if you come to table 9 of reconciliation, it says that tax payable in table 9 will automatically comes when you will put the data in your table 4, 10 and 11. Not 4, in table 4 only, then it will come in table 9. So आपने 1 लाख रुपया जो है टेबल 4 में दिखाया है तो 9 में भी आपका लायबिलिटी 1 लाख आ गया, बट एक्चुअली यू हैव पेड द टैक्स ऑफ 1,01,000, 2,000 3,000 माइनस 2,000 करके आपने 1,01,000 रुपया एक्चुअली का पेमेंट किया हुआ है. तो दिस विल आल्सो ऑटो पॉपुलेट in your table 9 as 1,01,000. So difference is 1,000 you have paid extra, and the reason is that 17-18 के table 10 का 3,000 था और ये था, but ये आपने already excess pay किया हुआ है तो nothing to be paid, and this is 1,000 rupees also not refundable because whatever you have disclosed is correct. So nothing to be done, nothing to be payable, nothing to be done. Take another situation. Your actual tax liability is 1,01,000. So what you did is you paid, there is a difference of 1,000. बिकॉज 18-19 से रिलेटेड 3B में आपने 1000 रुपये दिखाया, 1 लाख ही दिखाया, जबकि एक्चुअल 1 लाख था, 1,01,000 था. So you should report 1 lakh in your table 4. And second possibility is that 2018-19 के बाद अप्रैल 19 से लेके सितंबर 19 तक ये डिफरेंशियल 1000 आपने ऑलरेडी पे कर दिया है. You have already paid this 1000. So you will disclose this 1000 in your table 10. Then it will come, your liability will come in your table 14. Okay. So table 9 में it will pick up from table 4 का liability से pick up करेगा, तो table 9 में 1 लाख आ गया. Tax paid as per 1,01,000. So same thing will come what we have seen in situation 1. So nothing to be payable, because you have paid in the financial year 1920 and which you have disclosed in table 10. So nothing is payable now. Now go to third possibility. You have actually paid 1 lakh rupees as your liability and disclose the same in your 3B, but actual liability is आपका 99,000 ही है. So what you did is you have paid 1,000 rupees excess, and whatever 1,000 rupees you have paid excess, that you have reported in your table 11, means whatever April to September 19 return में आपने ये liability को reverse कर दिया है. So now nothing to be taken from government, nothing to be paid to the government. So you will report 1 lakh rupees in table 14, table 4, report in table 11 में 1,000 minus करेंगे. So table 9 में payable will be 1 lakh, tax paid will be 1,01,000, but this 1,000 difference we know, so we will keep it as it is and we will do nothing in table 9 and file return as it is. So भले ही वो excess payment मेरे return में जा रहा है, जाने दो, but it is actually not a actual refundable. We know we will do nothing. Now we go to the situation 4. My actual outward tax liability 1,01,000 है, बट ये 1,01,000 रुपया जो है मैंने 1920 के अप्रैल टू सितंबर में भी पे ही नहीं किया है. तो एक्चुअली आई पेड शॉर्ट टिल नाउ ऑल्सो. So what you have to disclose in your GSTR 4 table 4 is 1,01,000, even if you have in your 3B you are disclosing only 1 lakh rupees. So tax payable 1,01,000, tax paid as per table 9 भी 1,01,000 है. So actually if you go to table 9 तो आपका कुछ भी payable नहीं आता है, क्योंकि मैच हो जाता है, and it is not considering 17-18 में whatever you are disclosed in table 10 and 11. Actually this form should disclose that, then only it will calculate the actual liability. But since you have short paid this 1,000 rupees, so I highly recommend that you should make a payment through DRC 03 before filing of your GSTR 9. Again, you can file your GSTR 9 payable return also. Fifth situation what I am taking is your actual outward liability is 99,000, and that 1,000 rupees in situation 3 what you have reversed in table 11 of 1920 और 1920 में आपने अप्रैल टू सितंबर के जो रिटर्न 3B भरे उसमें रिवर्स कर दिया, यहाँ पे नहीं किया है. So in this situation actually your payable is 99,000, your paid is 1,01,000. Actually it is not 1,01,000, but return is disclosing 1,01,000. But you can't claim refund now because that time limit has gone, nothing can be done. So as it is, you will keep it in your GSTR table 9 and you will file like this. So I've just summarized for the better understanding, taking a 5 different situations. So I hope it will be helpful to you. Now we will, I will go to ITC claimed in GSTR 3B. तो सपोज 3B में फाइनेंशियल ईयर 18-19 में मैंने एक्चुअली क्लेम किया 1,01,000, बट उसमें से ITC रिवर्स फॉर सप्लाईज ऑफ 17-18 2,000 है और ITC क्लेम्ड इन सप्लाईज फाइनेंशियल ईयर में 3,000 रुपए है. तो बेसिकली ये मैंने टेबल 12 और 13 में फाइनेंशियल ईयर 17-18 के डिस्क्लोज किया था. तो वॉट एवर एक्चुअल ITC I have claimed pertaining to financial year 18-19 is actually 1 lakh rupees. Because of this adjustment, it is showing 1,01,000, but actually it is 1 lakh rupees. So now again I have taken 5 situation. What 5 situation I have taken for liability? Now I have taken this 5 situation as far as the ITC is concerned. So 18-19 से रिलेटेड मैंने 1 लाख रुपए का क्रेडिट लिया है 3B में, और एक्चुअली मेरा एलिजिबिलिटी भी एज पर बुक्स ऑफ अकाउंट भी मेरा 1 लाख रुपया ही है. So there is no difference, nothing to be reported. So what we will report in table 6 is 1 lakh rupees. Whatever ITC is claimed is 1,01,000 in your table 9, and ITC as per table 6 is 1 lakh rupees. Difference is 1,000. You will disclose this in your table. This is nothing to be disclosed, but you should keep in this in your working, and nothing to be done. Actual eligible ITC जो है आपका 1 लाख, actual eligible ITC for financial year 18-19 as per books is suppose 1,01,000, and what you have claimed is 1 lakh rupees. So there is a difference of 1,000, and this 1,000 rupees you have claimed in during April to September 19 return. In the table 13 you will disclose in your 19-20 return, and this you have claimed. So nothing will lapse, nothing, and यहाँ पे आपका actually 1,01,000 आ जाएगा. ITC as per table 6 will come 1,01,000 rupees. Difference will be 1,000. To keep it as it is, do nothing. Actual eligible ITC आपका actually 99,000 है. So difference is 1,000 rupees. You will report in your table 6 is 1 lakh rupees. And ये 1,000 rupees actually you come to know, and you reverse this in your April to September 19 return. So actually 99,000 ही आपने claim किया है, बाकी 1,000 reverse कर दिया है. So nothing to be payable, nothing to be received, and accordingly you will prepare table 9. Then next is table 4 situation where actual eligibility is 1,01,000. You have claimed 1,000, 1 lakh, and balance 1,000 आपने September 18 तक, September 19 तक
मेरे को टाइम, मेरा एक सेमिनार चल.
Yes sir, I will continue, or any question?
Yes, you can continue. I think he unmuted himself by mistake.
Okay, no problem. So 1,01,000 मेरा actual eligibility था, books of account में 1,01,000 था, but I have claimed only 1 lakh rupees, and that balance 1,000 I have not claimed till September 19 also. So this 1,000 will lapse. Now I can't claim. Here 99,000 ही मेरा actual eligibility था, जबकि मैंने 1,000 rupees 1 lakh rupees claim कर लिया है, and which I have not reversed in financial year 19-20 also till September 19. So this 1,000 extra actually I have claimed, that now I have to pay through DRC 03. So this is what I have taken 5 different situations as far as ITC disclosure is concerned, and as far as outward liability is concerned, and this is the way what you have to do. Now another question, very common question what I received is RCM liability and ITC. If there is a liability of RCM for the financial year 17-18, and it is paid during the financial year 17-18, or paid before 31st March 19, that is the extended limit. So what I have done is, I have taken here example of 17-18 only, but the same situation will be applicable for 18-19 also. So I have not made the changes from my previous presentation. Here it will be only September 19 instead of 31st March 19 if it is financial year 18-19. Then there is no restriction of availment of credit, because September 19 तक भी अगर आप RCM का payment करते हो for the year 18-19, you can claim the same. So liability will be disclosed, added in your table 4 of GSTR 9 of financial year 17-18. 18-19 you can take. Now there is an issue regarding the payment or availment of credit. we will pay the liability during the current month, and we can claim the ITC, and we will claim this in our table 6. Another situation, if there is a liability for RCM for the financial year 17-18 and is paid after time limit of availing 31st. So 18-19 के लिए अगर है तो September 19 के बाद, तो whether ITC is available, in my view that ITC is not available. So I'm not going into the technicalities of this. Other views are also possible. Some may say that you can take the ITC, but my view is that it is not available. If ITC is not available, you will add this liability in your table 4, but no impact in your ITC in your GSTR 9. So you will not get any credit of the same. That is the only difference if you are making RCM payment till September 19, or if you are making after September 19, no ITC. But in both scenarios, it has to be added in table 4. Then next is issues of reversal of ITC. I have taken couple of issues as far as reversal of ITC is concerned. So first is if ITC as per GSTR 3B and books of account, suppose it is 100 in financial year 18-19, out of which rupees 20 reversed in 2021. In the current financial year, what is going on? That is at the time of GSTR 9 via DRC 03 or through return of 3B, whatever. So reversal entry is not taken in the books of account of 18-19. Then what you have to do is, this reversal will be reflected only in table 7 of GSTR 9 of 18-19. Table 12E. So I have taken 9C में भी आपको इसका क्या करना है, you can read आराम से, because today I am not taking table GSTR 9C, so I am not taking an impact, but it is there in the presentation, and I hope that Viresh Bhai and Malad Chamber will share the PPT so you can use for your audit also. Another is if ITC of rupees 100 for the financial year 18-19, out of which 20 is reversed in April to September 19. First scenario, if reversal taken into the audited books of account of 18-19, reversal will be reflected only in table 12 of 9 of 18-19. And then 9C mein where you have to disclose, I have given here. Second scenario, if reversal not taken in the books of account in financial year 19-20, then you can reverse the same in table 7 as well as table 12 both, and accordingly you can disclose the same. So while preparing your GSTR 9, what checks also you have to do is that account related check I have bifurcated into 3. So account related check may you can do the GST and wise trial balance and reconciliation with balance sheet has been prepared. It is important. Stock record have been maintained, not maintained. Again, you have to see, because as I said that it is mandatory to have a true and correct stock record. Again, tax invoice, bill of supply, debit note, credit note, receipt voucher, etc. I have seen that many cases it is not there. So you suggest your client that at least if you are not prepared, they prepared. At least in future that liability will be not there. Otherwise that mistake may continue for so many years. Reconciliation of ITC 3B versus 2A need to be done. ITC has been claimed under correct head. That is also very much required while you are preparing GSTR 9, because CGST, SGST में अगर IGST के बदले CA and S में आपने लिया है, that what you have to reverse, and you can't claim now because that time limit has gone. Then condition of section 16(2) has been fulfilled. You know what is the condition, that you should have a first of all you should have a original invoice with you. You should receive that goods or services. So it is very important that in case suppose you are buying a air ticket and you are going to travel maybe in the month of November 20, but you have purchased ticket in March 20, so you can't take that credit in March 20. So all that condition of 16(2) has been fulfilled, then only you should avail the credit. Reversal of ITC under section if payment is not made within 180 days, because I have seen that most of the clients are not making reversal within 180 days. So it is advisable and recommend your client to do that. Reversal of ITC as per rule 42 and 43. So rule 42 what says that if you are supplying taxable as well as exempt supply, then rule 42 is applicable for input and input services. So that what you are taking a ratio of month on month basis and you are doing it on monthly basis. But after the year end, again I am repeating, after the year end you have to take the yearly figures, yearly turnover figure of taxable and exempt and again recalculate. So most of the client what I observed are not doing that. While preparing GSTR 9, if it has not been done, you do that exercise. If any liability is there, make the payment of the same. Any ITC used for personal purpose should be reversed. Disallowance of ineligible credit as per 17.5 that need to be checked. Again, valuation of transaction between related party, distinct person, cross charge, barter transaction, whether they have paid the tax, not paid the tax. If not paid the tax, recommend your client that you should make the payment. Cross charge already I paid. Said RCM. If valuity not taken on the refund claim, then what clause to be taken, that also you take care. Whether time of supply has been followed or not. GST on advance received toward goods is not taxable, but services are taxable. Interest is to be paid on gross liability, even though the GST Council has decided, Parliament has passed, it is there in the finance, it is there in the CGST Act, but it is still that section is not made applicable. So as of today, the GST has to be paid on gross liability. Okay, sorry, interest has to be paid on gross liability. I hope you know what is the gross liability. Suppose your liability for the month is 1 lakh rupees, out of which you have a credit of 20,000. So even if you are not filing your 3B on time, so entire interest has to be paid on 1 lakh rupees and not only on 80,000 rupees. Then place of supply, specifically in case of export and import of goods or services, it is very important. अगर आपने CGST के बदले SGST और SGST के बदले CGST किया है तो liability आपकी है, और अगर credit है तो that credit will also be not allowed because you have not taken before the due date. So all this you should keep in mind. So whatever I discussed was my opinions or views, and opinions or views are like wristwatches. Every watch shows different time from others, but everyone believes that their time is right. So once again, I thank Malad Chamber, Viresh Bhai, for inviting me here to share my thought. I am regularly sending GST updates.
Yes.
So many of you are getting it. Those who are not getting can save my this mobile number. That is 9820537986, and send me your full name, name of the city in which you are located, and your profession, CA, advocate, business, whatever. So I will add you in my broadcast list of WhatsApp, and WhatsApp has a feature that unless my number is saved in your mobile, it will not deliver the message. Or else you can follow me on a Twitter for the regular updates. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
All the participants. So Viresh Bhai, now we can take a question answer.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Manish Bhai. It was a wonderful session. Your presentation is also very helpful to the members, and you have covered almost everything. Still some many participants have raised the query, so we'll take query one by one. For this, Mr. Rino and Hers will take one by one. Mr.
Okay,
Rino,
sir.
please, sir. Mr. Rino.
Yes, sir.
And Harsha.
Sir, we had a query from a member. We are showing block credit amount under section 17.5 directly in 4D1 of GSTR 3B without showing it in 4A5 of 3B. Okay. ITC amount is not matching if we show this block credit amount in 7E of GSTR 9. Layout of 3B and GSTR 9 is different. So kindly advise how to report it in GSTR 9. The block credit.
As I said, if in while filing your GSTR 3B, you have two options. First, you claim that ITC of block credit.
Okay.
And then you reverse that credit, block credit, in your same month 3B. In that scenario, you have to show that reversal in table 7 also.
Okay.
Correct? If you are not disclosing anything in your 3B, that in table 7 also you are not required to disclose anything.
Okay. Harsh, can you take up your query?
Harsh,
Yes.
yes.
Yes, sir.
Query, next query.
The next query by one of our member. Yes. So the government had issued the second removal of difficulties order, which had inserted a proviso in section 16.4 and section 37.3, whereby the due date for availing input tax credit had been extended. So will the same type of concession will be available for financial year 18-19 or not?
No, that was available only for the financial year 17-18. 18-19 के लिए आपको September 19 was the due date. After that, you can't claim any fresh credit pertaining to 18-19 as well as अगर कोई उसका invoice issue हुआ है तो उसका credit note भी अगर आपने नहीं claim किया है September 19 के return में तो now you can't claim. So that additional liability you have to pay.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Another query is that following receipts were credited to the P&L account, that is discount received from supplier, non-GST credit notes, fixed deposits, interest income, agricultural income, showing these receipts in 5D of GSTR 9 and 5A and 7B of GSTR 9C is correct or not?
Yeah, it's absolutely correct because all these are exempt supply, na? It
Correct.
will go in table 5 of 9.
Okay. Harsh, next.
So what I will do is I will restrict my answer only and only in respect of annual return. Yes, I will not go to audit.
Correct, correct.
It is always better because audit ka already I think Viresh bhai session ho gaya hai and Ashit bhai बहुत अच्छे से detail में लिया है.
Yes,
I will not encroach in his area.
Thank you. No, sir.
Harsh, next query.
Okay, so these queries might be ignored if they were already been addressed by your seminar. So the query goes as follows. In the financial year 2017-18.
Harsh, what you are saying is it already discussed in my presentation?
Yeah, we can ignore. I'll just repeat it once so that you can. It is upon you. If you have already covered it, then you can ignore it.
Okay.
Okay. In financial year 17-18, excess ITC had been claimed in 9 and 9C. And the same was not reversed before the due date of amendment, that is on 30th September 2019. So can we reverse the excess ITC that had been claimed in GSTR 9-9C for the financial year 18-19?
So आप ये बोल रहे हो 17-18 में कुछ ITC आपने क्लेम कर लिया है,
करेक्ट,
जो आपने मार्च 19 तक रिवर्स भी नहीं किया है. Now you come to know that this has been claimed wrongly. So definitely you can reverse through DRC 03 also and intimate to the because आपको fresh credit लेने में restriction है. There is no restriction of making payment anytime. What you have to do is extra payment you have to make along with the interest.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, sir. Yes.
Sir, in the
so
financial.
We have one last question.
Yes, sir. Continue.
Yes, sir. Continue.
Okay. If at the time of filing GSTR 9 of financial year 2017-18, some adjustments had been made in table 10 to 13, then how should the same adjustments be shown in GSTR 9 of financial year 18-19?
नहीं, उसको आप कहीं पे भी दिखाने का ऑप्शन ही नहीं है और मैंने इसके लिए डिफरेंट सिचुएशन जो थे 17-18 के अगर आप देखोगे तो मैंने ऑलरेडी कवर किया है. So that is there in my presentation and there is no separate column, there is no separate table where you can disclose this. That is a flaw I can say in the form. And I hope that once they will come out with the 1920 ka GSTR 99C, they will take care of this.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Okay. Another query is what are the figures which appear in table 9 of GSTR 9? I think that you have already answered. That whatever is shown in 3B will appear.
Correct.
And another query is GST paid on advance in 17-18, now adjusted in 18-19. Where do we show that in GSTR 9?
Advances जो आपने 17-18 में पे किया होगा,
हाँ.
तो वो आपने टेबल 4 में वहां पे दिखा दिया है, बिकॉज टेबल 4 में देयर इज अ सेपरेट दिस नो.
Hello.
Yeah. So I will go to that table, na? So it is
Correct.
here actually. Yeah. So table 4, if you see the F, it says that advances on which tax has been paid but invoice has not been issued. 17-18 का 4F में that figure will come. Correct?
Yes.
तो 17-18 में आपने एडवांस दिखाया है, बिल नहीं बनाया. Once इसका जो आप बिल बनाएंगे, तो if it is B2B, then it will automatically come in for table 4B.
Okay.
Correct? Whatever invoice you are issuing, it will automatically come. And if it is a B2C supply, then it will come in for 4A. So there is no requirement of disclosing this separately.
Okay.
Okay, sir. So यहाँ पे अपने आप automatic take care हो जाता है, because you are going to issue invoice of advances received during the year.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes.
Next.
Over to Viresh bhai. I am done with the queries which I had.
Okay. Thank you, Rino and Harsh. Sir, it was a wonderful session. And now I ask our Mr. Rino to propose a hearty vote of thanks. Well deserved vote of thanks.
Thank you, Viresh bhai, for giving me this opportunity to thank our today's speaker, CA Manish Gadia. Sir, thank you for giving us your valuable time today and sharing your knowledge with us, with all the participants and members, and adding value to the existing knowledge जो हमारा था GSTR 9 पे. You have already added your inputs and your experience about the GSTR 9. So thank you very much. And again, thank you to all the participants also to come in large numbers and make this webinar a success. And we also have an announcement for the members of MCTC and the webinar group that we have our next session on the queries and panel discussion on income tax on 16th of May, that is Saturday.
Saturday, yeah. Time 5 to 7. Timing 5 to 7, yeah.
Yes. Yes. Okay, Viresh bhai, over to you.
Thank you. Thank you, Rino. Thank you, Manish bhai.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity. Thank you.
Sir, we are honored. Thank you very much, sir.
Sir, on honest feedback about this session, someone has written on YouTube that the session was so good, you can publish a book on it by giving references to 17-18K provisions, changes in 18-19, and what will be applicable in 19-20 as well. So we will be waiting for a book from you, sir.
Yes, sir. WIRC is working on that, and ekdam easy guide that last year we published for the GSTR 9 and 9C of 17-18. Now we are coming out with the updated version. Okay. So maybe next month May we will be out with that publication. That will be a good publication of WIRC of ICI is working on the same.
Very good, very good, sir. बढ़िया है.
आपका वेट ही कर रहे थे सर बोलने का. WIRC will come out with it.
Very good, sir. Or any question to be taken? कुछ जरूर नहीं ना, बस हो गया ना, Rino?
No, we are done.
Now, can we end up the meeting, sir? Manish sir?
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Nice, very good. Rino?
Thank you.
End.
Thank you, everyone. Yes.
Thank you. Yes, please.
Yes, sir.
Okay.